So I'm getting pretty close to having my Gunpla all displayed. It's taking quite a while, but I'm finding models that I built years ago, which aren't Gundam, but they're still pretty awesome, like the Mazinger Z here. This one came out when they relaunched this series. They did a new one, Mazinger, I think that's what it was called. It was in the, I think it was 2005, around there somewhere. Maybe it was 2010. I don't remember. I started watching the show. I never finished it. But yeah, this came out when the series was out, so it's pretty old now. And it's pretty good. I'm not a big fan of Mazinger, like any of the super robots from back then. I'm not a huge fan. I'm more of their contemporary counterparts, I guess you could say, like Mazinger, was it Mazinger Z, Shin Getter, Robo, stuff like that. But this one, for what it is, there should be a cover back here. I have no idea where it is. But for what it is, for what it does, which is very cool, and that's why I bought it. It works. It looks like Mazinger Z. You got a pretty good looking head. Got the breastfire, breastplates. Everything's pretty smooth. Glossy as hell black. Look at that. Just shines. The piler, I think it's called piler, the little vehicle where the pilot sits in the head. It actually has the folding down little turbines and a clear cockpit. Don't know why you'd want to have this in the head, like exposed, but what do I know? That's what they did, so who am I to argue? And another thing, you'll see the articulation is not like super duper amazing, but when you see what it does, you'll understand why it is a little limited here and there. But it can. I like the fact they have a hinge in the crotch to get that leg forward, so you don't have to. You can get a good forward motion without like breaking the sculpt. And everything else is decent, even some nice detail on the feet. And you've got the included Scrander, which is a little different from what we're used to. It's got these bigger wings that they're supposed to be a lot thinner. And it's got these little thrusters on the back. But it also has some posability. You got the little belt clamp. That's why I don't have the cover there, because, you know, just peg that into the back. And once it's pegged in, this belt thing is pretty much just for show. It doesn't need to be hooked up, but it looks good. Adds a little bit more yellow to the overall mecha. And it looks neat. I think in the show it did, like, it had these in front of it sometimes. I don't know why, but it did. Yeah, it looks good. But the reason I bought it is because Mazinger Z is known for its rocket punch, where it fires its fists off. The whole mech becomes the rocket punch. And so you gotta do a little bit of transformation. So that's the reason I got this thing, because it's cool to be able to do this. So we're gonna have to get rid of that for a moment, just get rid of those. We're gonna get that head in there. And then I'm gonna take the backpack off, because it's a little finicky the way they did this. I understand why they did this, but it's a little finicky. They got this extra joint so you can actually rotate the arms without breaking the peg will be preferable, but I guarantee nothing. Alright, so anybody who decides to buy this, I would suggest unpegging the arms and then flipping those hinges out, because I didn't break anything, but it felt like it was gonna happen. So once you get that all done, it's just a matter of collapsing the wings and get these little yellow spikes. I don't know why they don't go any farther in, but they just collapse them. But you can get this all down, and it tabs in a couple areas. There, and a couple here. Alright, so you got, oh, now he's doing the horns. But yeah, so the hands, the arms become fingers. These two flip out little digits. Oh, very tight. And then finally, you got this as the thumb. And I don't remember if it comes with an interchangeable pieces to replace the fist. I want to say it does, but I really don't remember. But that's annoying, because then you have to keep swapping the hands out every time you want to have a fist. But you can kind of get around that even if it doesn't. I'm sure somebody will correct me, or I'll just look up online and I'll tell you in a comment here. If you see a comment, you'll know that, yeah, I figured it out. But yeah, and now you have a thumb. Now you have a pretty cool rocket punch fist. Like, check that out. That looks great. And, like I said, once you have these in the fist, you can't really tell that those are hands as fingertips. Now, unfortunately, for me anyways, my biggest problem with displaying this thing is where do I put it, because I'm a kind of like a stickler for scale, and this thing is 18 meters, just like the RX-78 II. Unfortunately, well, 144 scale doesn't cut it, it's too small, but 1/100 scale is too big. So I suppose it's like 1/20th, maybe? Don't know, but it's somewhere in between, definitely. But it's still so cool, like the fact that he is a pretty functional figure with decent articulation, and he looks good, very glossy. There's a lot of seam lines, it's just the way it was back then. And the Scrander is different looking, but it is cool. But it's the fact that he makes a giant fist. That's what sold it for me, and probably other people who got it.